It's the Connector, Idaho Daily News from Boise State Public Radio. Good morning. I'm Troy Oppie, in for George Prentice. This morning, the president of a nonprofit dedicated to wounded first responders now says he will not use the name of a fallen Ada County Sheriff's deputy. Plus, a new pilot is taking off from the Boise airport that has nothing to do with airplanes. Expanding geothermal is on the docket in the city of Cascade. Plus, rapid expansion of communities across the Mountain West is happening in places with heavy wildfire risk. What does that mean for economic risk on top of it? All those stories and more on the Connector this morning. The family of the Ada County Sheriff's deputy killed in the line of duty last year removed themselves this week from a new nonprofit meant to honor fallen Deputy Tobin Bolter. The president of that nonprofit now says he will honor the family's wishes to not use Bolter's name after previously criticizing Bolter's widow and her father for leaving the nonprofit board. In a statement late yesterday posted online, Samuel Farrell apologized to Bolter's widow and family for his previous statements, which called their resignations, quote, reprehensible. He says the financial stewardship of the nonprofit meant to honor wounded first responders, quote, remains beyond reproach. As Boise State Public Radio reported this week, Farrell has a previous criminal history, including felony sex crimes and fraud convictions. His most recent criminal charge came from 2023. Farrell, in his statement, called the report, quote, unwarranted rumors. Our reporting used information from court and other public records. He says the nonprofit will move forward with more details to come. Nearly 50 outdoor and environmental groups are asking the federal government to exempt snow and water supply forecasters from proposed layoffs. Here's James Dawson with more.
SNOTEL collects hourly snowpack and weather data from 900 sites in the western U.S. and Alaska. Groups who signed the letter say they're worried any cuts to the agency's SNOTEL network could endanger public safety and harm outdoor recreation in western communities. The letter says 50% of avalanche forecasting centers rely solely on the data for their work. Aaron Lieberman, who heads the Idaho Outfitters and Guides Association, says his members use SNOTEL and other tools to predict how busy their seasons might be.
That influence how much you spend on marketing and where you're marketing those opportunities to whom, and how much you reinvest in that section of your inventory.
Oregon Public Broadcasting reported last month the federal agency's Portland office monitoring Northwest SNOTEL sites lost more than half of its staff in the recent nationwide purge. A request for comment from the USDA wasn't immediately returned. James Dawson, Boise State Public Radio News.
Bogus Basin is squeezing out one final weekend of winter tomorrow and Sunday with a celebratory end to the winter season. The mountain says all its lifts will turn. All season passes will be valid both days. They'll have live music Saturday and Sunday. The pond skim event is set for Saturday afternoon. Elsewhere, Tamarack and Brundage have already closed for the season. Sun Valley, though, is still open for a final weekend. The closing celebration at Warm Springs Plaza is on Saturday afternoon. Final day in Sun Valley is this Sunday for skiing. Caldwell Mayor Jerem Wagner is refuting allegations of mismanagement brought by the leaders of a recall effort for Wagner and 4 members of the city council. In a statement released Thursday, Wagner declined to address details of allegations against the city's police chief, but he says all allegations were investigated and there were no findings of illegal activity. Police Chief Rex Ingram faces a harassment lawsuit from a now former subordinate officer. Another lawsuit from the city's former HR director alleging retaliation was recently settled by the city's liability insurer. Wagner refutes other claims from the recall group as well, saying missing impact fees was not a scheme, but a human error the city has since taken steps to fix, and that controversial hotel development near the rodeo grounds was approved in the best interest of the community. The recall group is currently in the signature gathering process to try to get the recall of most of the city's leadership on the ballot in November. If they succeed, the recall question would be alongside a ballot race for mayor and 3 city council seats. A different type of pilot is taking off at the Boise airport today. It's a pilot program called the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Initiative. So-called hidden disabilities might include autism, MS, Crohn's disease, or others, disabilities that aren't always obvious. That's when, Boise Airport spokesperson Jennifer Kronberg says, passengers with a hidden disability might ask for a sunflower lanyard. That could alert airport workers to offer some extra care.
And these lanyards just send a discrete signal to the people who work at the airport, who they might encounter while they're traveling, that they might need a little bit of extra help, extra patience, just a little bit of understanding.
The lanyards, which are free, are being distributed at the airport for the first time today. In the coming weeks, other city departments and agencies will also be offering sunflower lanyards. Geothermal wells in Cascade have the capacity to heat or cool the entire city. That's according to Mayor Judith Nisula. The McCall Star News reports Cascade city leaders presented an idea this week to residents for a citywide geothermal network. Geothermal heat has been used for 20 years at the Cascade School building and since 2010 to heat the city pool. The city is using state and federal grants to put together a plan for how to create the system. They expect that plan to be ready by fall of next year, though they should have an idea of how much it might cost by this coming summer. Residents wanting to use geothermal would need to purchase heat pumps to connect to the proposed system. Those can cost thousands of dollars. There are currently multiple rebate programs available. New research shows that job growth in our region has been faster in areas with serious wildfire risk. As the Mountain West News Bureau's Murphy Woodhouse reports, that trend raises the prospect of serious economic fallout from major blazes.
Between 1990 and 2020, the number of jobs in parts of the West with very high wildfire risk roughly doubled to 1.7 million. That's significantly faster than regional job growth in general.
We find that job growth in very high wildfire hazard areas to be the greatest of all the job growth numbers from all wildfire hazard potential categories.
That's Emily Joyner, a researcher with the nonprofit think tank Resources for the Future. She's the lead author of a new paper that finds that, quote, the higher the level of employment in high hazard areas, the more economically disruptive wildfires are when they occur.
Hazard mitigation and resilience planning isn't something that can just apply to residential communities, but is also something that business and industry needs to be concerned about too.
The paper argues for policies that discourage both residential and commercial development in high-hazard areas. Greater Salt Lake, the Denver-Boulder corridor, and northern Arizona had particularly high concentrations of jobs in wildfire-threatened areas, along with smaller pockets across the region. For the Mountain West News Bureau, I'm Murphy Woodhouse.
National Parks Week begins this weekend. Saturday, entry fees to all national parks will be waived as part of the annual celebration. That includes parks like Grand Teton, just over the Idaho-Wyoming border, and Yellowstone National Park. There's a complete list at the nps.gov website. Last year, national parks hit a record of more than 330 million visitors. But due to budget cuts, the Park Service says on its National Parks Week online website, visitors may experience fluctuating hours and other changes this year. And thanks for listening to The Connector. I'm Troy Oppie, in for George Prentice. If you like this podcast, make sure you click that like button, subscribe. It helps other people find this podcast as well. Our news director is Sasha Woodruff. Our general manager is Tom Michael. Our digital strategy manager is Lacey Daly. Have a great Friday and a great weekend.